and welcome to today's episode of The Scoop, where seniors can overcome obstacles proactively. My name is Denise Jaworski, and with me today is Dr. Gina. We're so happy to have you again, Dr. Gina Dawson.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Dr. Gina Dawson came and spoke with us a few weeks ago, but we're very happy to have her back. We're going to be covering a different topic today. Dr. Gina is a licensed physical therapist and is currently the Director of Physical Therapy at the Methodist Ambulatory Surgical Hospital. One of the topics, the main topic that we're going to cover today is holiday fall prevention tips. So it has become well known that seniors age 65 and older are at a particular risk of falls. These falls can be life-changing events. Around the holidays, if visiting the family, special attention needs to be paid to how your home is safe for your parents. So that is the main topic of our show today. Thanksgiving's coming up. Right behind Thanksgiving's Christmas, and many times our loved ones come for a visit. So would you care just to share with our audience, if your parents are coming to your home, some tips to make sure that your home's safe for your parents?
Wonderful. Yes. So when our parents come over, we need to be aware that, first of all, we want there to be light. Not just the Christmas lights or the beautiful lights that we put up, but to illuminate the area. So adding night lights, increasing lights to their room that they're going to be in, perhaps making the area where a hallway might be, to just have everything bright so we can see they can see where they're walking.
Okay.
The next thing is make the area as open as possible. So move extra furniture out of the way. If they're using a walker, allow that there's room for them to push their walker through. Any obstacles need to be gone.
Okay.
So walking around furniture, if you always bump your leg on that little table, get that out of the way. Making the area also accessible, getting to and from the restroom, to and from the room that they're staying, and in the living room, kitchen area, so they can participate with preparing the meals.
So kind of stop for a minute, look at the area where they're going to be resting and where they would go to the restroom, and just make sure that you consciously walk that path 1 or 2 times to make sure these things are free of the area.
Right, exactly. Okay. Right, and illuminated. The next thing is look at the flooring.
Okay.
Make sure that all the loose throw rugs are picked up. Anything loose on the floor, throw rugs, shoes, toys. Think about the pets on the floor.
Pets' toys even, right?
Yes, pets' toys. I've had patients who have fallen over the toys that belong to the pets.
Right.
And so that is something we want to be mindful of. Also be aware of those loose throw rugs. Sometimes we have them dispersed because they make it look pretty. It's a transitional area from maybe the living room to the dining room to have a throw rug. Pick all those throw rugs up. The only throw rug that should be on the floor is around the tub.
Okay.
So that way, when you get in and out of the shower, the tub, you could catch the little bits of water.
But a rubber matted rug.
Rubber matted, yes,
okay.
Yes, non-skid. So sometimes those rubber matted rugs can get a little bit old, and the rubber can deteriorate, so it's no longer grasping the ground as much. In fact, I went through this with my parents just the other day, and Mom says, okay, this old rug is now a new rug for the dogs. So she's recycling it to put it for the dog's kennel. But of course, getting it to be new so that way it's not going to slide around. Also, sometimes around the sink in the kitchen, that might be a place where people like to have a rug. But just make sure that it's non-skid.
Okay, those are really good tips. Is there anything as far as when we talked about the bathroom briefly, is there anything else in the bathroom that should be done?
Very good point. So in the restroom, you want to, if you have grab bars, make sure that you identify, hey, there's grab bars here you can use, or having grab bars installed, have them professionally installed. Do not use those suction cup ones. Those pop off after a couple of hours.
Oh my gosh.
Also, think about the ground in the tub. So you can add the non-skid rug or the non-skid mat in there, or the stickers that you can put on.
Yeah, they have like the tape too, right? The adhesive tape.
Yes. Okay. And that's really important, especially when you're using conditioner or the shampoos that have oils to help your skin to be soft. They also make the ground very slippery. The population that's most vulnerable to a fall in the shower are people 65 and older. It gets a little bit more dangerous for those in their 80s and 90s, and also children of the age 5 and under. So also we want to think about those little ones that are going in and out of the tub in the shower. In the bathroom and in the shower, make sure that it's not cluttered, that they can have easy access in and out. And you may want to go over with them, hey mom, this is how you turn on the shower, how you turn off the shower. This is, if there's anything in the bathroom that needs to review with them. Just make it as easy as possible to transition in your home.
Don't take it for granted they may have been there before, because sometimes their memory isn't necessarily as sharp as it used to be. I think that's an important, or don't just think, because it's your parents that they just know. I think that's another good thing, to kind of just be very courteous and a good hostess of how you would orient them to their living quarters.
Exactly right. Yes.
Let's talk a little bit, I know this isn't necessarily focusing on fall prevention, but let's talk about Alzheimer's and dementia, Parkinson's. So those diseases can come with different sets of concerns or worries. So tell us a little bit about some things that they may be able to do if their parents have those diagnoses.
So I think with any type of degenerative brain disease, we want to be mindful that getting the person out of their normal environment, their normal routine, can cause them to get even more confused. And so maybe they're not generally very confused, but then you're noticing a change. So that maybe what you want to do is be mindful of their sleep schedule. If they tend to take naps, you may want to pause and say, hey mom, I think it's time for you to take a nap, and make sure that you make that time available to them. Pace them. They don't have as much energy and stamina as we do, or as the young kids that are going to be coming into the holidays. And so allowing them to have maybe an area where they can retreat to. So
I think that's a great idea. So like, mom, here's a corner that'll be quiet and peaceful in the event you get overwhelmed.
Exactly right. Yeah. Especially when you have children and a lot of festivities and noise and laughter, and it can get very overwhelming. So having a place where they can retreat, take a nap, just have some quiet time. Maybe they want to go listen to some music, having some aromatherapy. We talked about the aromatherapy and how nice
aromatherapy.
And just a nice retreat. In fact, you and I may want to.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm like. I want the quiet corner with the lavender oil.
and just making it to where it's not so overwhelming, and so they are not so fatigued, and that can also affect and exacerbate their mental disease process that are going on. Or maybe we should go visit mom and dad or our senior family members in their environment, and just keeping it as routine and as safe and as common for them. So if we go to their environment, maybe for just a couple of hours, rather than pulling them away from their place and totally discombobulating their whole routine.
No, I think that's a very good point. So really stop and ask yourself, is this going to be best for mom to come or dad to come here, or for us to go to them? Because sometimes, even though we have young kids and we have a lot going on, sometimes it's best deserved if we go to where they're at.
Go to where they're at, yes. If they do come to your home, also be aware of their medications. So if their medications are due in the morning with food, you have to know what's going on and what their medications require of you. So that way they don't get off their routine of taking what they're supposed to. Also, some medications are to be taken with food, some on an empty stomach. Some medications are supposed to be taken at night. So maybe as soon as they come to your house, or maybe before they come to your house, you are very understanding of what are your medicines, how do you take them, is there something that I should know before you come? Perhaps there's some dietary restrictions. Are they diabetic? Do they have heart disease? Are we going to be concerned about the types of food that we're serving? Maybe we should have some more bland food, or foods that are easily digestible, less sugar food, maybe some more sugar-free options.
Yeah, and that's a good point too, because a lot of times you become a diabetic later, and maybe you don't know that. Maybe you're not around your parents enough to where you realize they became diabetic. So just kind of maybe going over a few of those things with them too, is do you have any new diet restrictions that we need to be made aware of?
Exactly. So then that way, when you're doing the grocery shopping for the holidays, you're also able to prepare for where their needs are too.
So good. And the one other thing I want to touch on, just because I've seen this a lot as I've been around around individuals who are aging is their vision. A lot of times their vision gets impaired, and I've done a few aging courses to where you're able to put on the different glasses so that you see what it's like to have the vision of someone whose vision has been impaired from a stroke or macular degeneration. Young children sometimes can't be seen. Or they move so quickly that maybe they move into a spot that they're not able to see clearly in. So maybe just having that little talk with younger children to the best that you can about being mindful of, you know, when you're around grandma and grandpa. I don't know. I mean, do you have any tips with that?
I think that is very true, is that children move very quickly. Also pets. You know, a pet can get underfoot so quickly.
Especially the little ones, like they move so fast, right?
Yeah. So making sure that the pets are out of the area if the senior is walking and concerned about their balance. Also, children need to, like you said, be mindful that just maybe don't be running around grandma and grandpa so fast. You know, when you're around them, be careful and don't be so swift.
Right.
And also their toys, you know, are their toys out of the way so they're not going to be trip hazards too.
Well, that's great. So what other tips do you have for preparing the elderly loved ones for their holiday arrival? Do you have anything else?
I think driving, you know, if they're able to drive, that is wonderful. Making sure that you have a clear pathway for them when they park their car and they're going to walk into the house.
Very good. Going from the outside, the driveway and stuff.
We're in San Antonio right now, and the acorns are just enormous.
Right.
And those are huge fall hazards because they're round and they're very easy to slip on. So making sure that the outside area is also very clean and open too. If they're going to need transportation, you know, making sure that that's set up, that they can easily get in and out of the car that you have for them, and be also aware that if you have a really tall vehicle, maybe that's not the best one to pick them up in. Really low is kind of hard too. So a moderate height car is easier to get your seniors in and out. Also be aware of outside steps. So if the step is not very obvious, if it's a decking or maybe it's a concrete, paint the edge of the step so you can see, or at least when you're walking with them, say, hey, there's a step right here, and be mindful and careful with them.
Or maybe during their visit they could put some colored tape there.
Yeah, as long as it's not sloughing off. Yeah, that's really good.
Okay.
And also, it's so funny, doors, doors that kind of swing shut.
Oh.
Be careful with those, because as they're going in and out of those doorways, if you all go out to eat, or if you have a door like that, maybe a back door that slams shut, holding on to it, because sometimes seniors are getting into the house a little bit slower than we're used to. So making sure you hold it open so it's not going to slam into their heel.
That's such a good point. I can't tell you how many times I've seen that happen to seniors, to where the door just hits them.
It swings so fast.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, these have been some great tips that Dr. Gina has shared with us. Hopefully you're going to be able to make sure that your home is prepared for the holidays so that you will have many memories and celebrations, and instead of any type of negative obstacles. We're going to proactively take care of all that with Dr. Gina's tips. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
We love it when you come.
I'm so grateful we can share these, because if I can prevent a fall and prevent patients from coming to my hospital, I feel like we've done good work, because 70% of falls are totally preventable.
Yes.
And so from these tips that we've shared here, hopefully we can prevent some of those holiday falls.
Yes, and happy holidays to all of you. Thank you for joining us for this episode of The Scoop. Stay tuned for more. If you would like some information on how to get in touch with Dr. Gina Dawson, there's some information located at the bottom of the screen. And there's another little tidbit you'd like to add?
Yes. Methodist Healthcare also has a fall prevention program called Stay Upright, and I would be happy to come and visit with you and your group. I give a free 1-hour class that's sponsored by Methodist Healthcare, and of course, if you need emergency care services or excellent care, please come to any of our Methodist Healthcare facilities. Thank you so much.
And we'll have that information of how to reach Dr. Gina Dawson at the bottom of the screen. Thank you.
Today's episode is brought to you by Bee's Knees, Cones and Coffee.
So today we have Abundantly Loopy Sundays from Bee's Knees in Stone Oak. The holidays can be stressful.
And sometimes we can be a little loopy too.
There's sanity at Bee's Knees in Stone Oak.